Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I hope you've been enjoying this week of Halloween treats and how to make various treat holders. We started off the week with our crackers. We had the curved and the cubed ones. We've done our pinch top treat holder. We did the lantern one, and last time you saw me make this belly band one with room for goodies inside there, and then the belly band holding it shut. So they were all made with the envelope punch board, and this time I've got something which doesn't use the envelope punch board, just a regular scoreboard. And this one, again, I've used Charmed by Graphic 45, and it's called the Impossible Box. Now, these aren't new. They've been around for a long time. I remember making these years ago, but I've never made a video of one. And I thought now would be the time, and I've simplified all the measurements as well. And it's called the Impossible Box because the lid is actually attached, and when you slide it, it opens up fully, and then when you close it, it closes on itself. So you don't need to think of any closures or anything for this one. So I've kept the decoration fairly simple, but you can then go to town, add your stickers and things, as long as you don't stick anything onto here which blocks this sliding down. I'll show you that later on. So let's put that aside. And again, we're using quite minimal amounts of product. So we've just got this one sheet of cardstock from A4, and I've cut it at 8.5 by 8. And again, I do have a template, just like I did for the others, but this one is a lot more complicated and it's easier to show you as we go. So there are my measurements, but I think it was only me who'd understand what all this means because they are notes to myself. So it's 8.5, not 8.8, 8.5 by 8. So let's grab our scoreboard. And my scoring tool. So let's put it with the 8.5 on the top to begin with. So let's bring in my template. So I said the measurements are easy, so we're going to go at 2, 4, 6, and 8. So every 2 inches. So here's 2, 4, 6, and 8. Leaving a little 1/2 inch on the end for gluing, which is going to make those tabs there. Then we're going to turn it, so 8 inch is along the top, and this is the base, and this is the top of our box. So we're going to score at 2, and then at 5, 6, and 7. So just 5, 6, and 7, so every inch. So there's your 5 coming all the way down. 6 is these little bits which we're going to do our cutaway parts, and 7. So when I refer to 5, 6, and 7, these are the pieces we're doing. Oh, I don't want to get rid of my board yet. So this is my 6-inch one. I'm going to fold it back and burnish. I'm going to place that back into my scoreboard. And I'm going to mark. So this bit is 2 inches. I'm going to mark the middle, so it's 1 inch with my pencil. Then between the 2 and the 4 score line, of course, the middle would then be 3. So I'm just marking 3, 5, and 7. So those are my center points for each piece. Bring it forward so you can see. So you've got our rectangle and the corner point, which is on the fold, marked for each center, and then the tab at the end. And what we're going to do, if I fold this one exactly the same as 6, we're going to take our ruler and we're going to draw from our pencil line down to the score line. I'm going to just turn it this way so I can see. So there's one, and I'm going to do the same from that cross to my pencil line. So I've still got it folded. Can we see those triangles? Yes. I'm going to snip off this triangle. And now I need to remove all the other triangles, which means I'm going to cut down the score line and then cut down my pencil line. So there's the first one done. Again, down the score line and down the pencil line. And the last one, down the score lines and down the pencil line. And whilst I got my scissors, in fact I'm going to swap to my larger scissors. These are the base panels which are going to glue together to make the bottom. So I want to keep one of the squares whole. So I'm going to choose this one here as my whole one. So I'm just going to trim this one off to the right and trim a little bit off as a triangle. That's just going to help me put everything together at the end. And the same at an angle, and then cut off to make a tab there. So this is the square I want to keep whole here. So I'm not going to do anything, but I'm going to cut the one off to the left of it at a slight angle. And then this one, both of them are going to be cut at angles. So I'm just going to cut and cut. And then the last one from the score line, I can just angle that one as well. So now we've got our base done. The last bit we need to do, if I open this up, I can cut away this bit as well, because we only want a tab on the top. So I'm just going to angle that one slightly and angle it towards, and this long one is the other tab. So these two rectangles here, we want to cut away. And there we go. We now have our template converted onto our cardstock. So I'm going to bring my Teflon tool. I'm going to start just by folding all these base pieces backwards. Okay. So they have a mountain fold. The next one, that 5-inch one we did, we're going to do valleys, which means I'm going to bring them towards me to create a valley. Just bring them all down. There we go. And then we already have the 6-inch as a mountain. And it may sound weird, but the next one is also going to be a mountain. And you're going to see why later on. And then tabs get folded back, as do all the other lines. And again, and again. pull the 2 tabs. We're now ready to start assembling it. So I'm just going to attach some tape to my 2 tabs. Oh, I don't want to do it on that one yet, because it actually needs to go on the reverse. Just rub it off. I'll do that later on because it needs to go there. So I have put on mine glue first. So we've got the glue on. Fold everything. Then slide this in and glue. So what that means is we are going to fold this over first. And then we'll flip it over. And we're then going to bring everything together. Oh, I think I've got it the wrong way. Let's bring it backwards. Here we go. That's it. So that should have been a valley. So now, when I bring it together, yeah. So you've got your tab here. You're going to bring this together. Then all that's going to fold in. So let's put some of the tape on the back of that for now. Let's score that a bit harsher. Let's flip it over. So you've folded the top one, the 7-inch one over. I'm going to close. We're only going to take off the long one. Don't take that bit off yet. And when you bring it together, make sure it's nice and straight. There we go. Now we're going to do our base. Now, this is the square I've kept whole. These are more triangular in shape. So I'm going to work on, if this is my whole one, these 2. And I'm going to put some glue just on the edge of that one and on the back of this one. So that glue then is going to come over to here and stick everything in place. We can turn it over and use my burnishing tool. And the reason I use glue for this is I can actually then manipulate it into more of a square. If I use tape, it will be trickier. So there we go. We now have our base with the last one, sorry, I should have said, the last one was the full square. So our base is nice and neat. And now, this is where the impossible part comes in. When you push on this, that part becomes the lid. And you'll see that those bits lift to close the box. Now, I do this at the end because now I'm going to put this and put some glue on. And we're going to tuck this inside. Making sure you don't do it too tight, because you want the lid to be slightly bigger than the main box. So now, let's just wiggle it a few times. That will soon enough dry there. So whilst that does dry, let's have a look at the decoration. So I've kept it simple. I've just done some panels using the charmed papers again. And you've got them at 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. And the top bits are 1 3/4 again by 3/4 of an inch. And you need 4 of each. I've already done them. And I've put some black distress ink around the edges as well, just to finish them off. And now it's just a case of sticking them on. So if you do have one panel that you want to be the front, so to speak, I would keep it away from this bit, because this is the bit I've glued on. So I would make that the front so that the join with that extra bit is in the back. So let's say he's at my front piece. I would put him there. And you want to glue these nice and flat, especially at the top, so that this still slides over. There's one panel done. Two. Three. And 4. And then the same on the top. Just going to work our way around, attaching these 1 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch strips onto the top. And the last one. There we go. So there is your Impossible box with its built-in lid, which closes on itself. So you just lift it up to fill it with the treats and then slide it down and it seals everything in place. So you could put a little triangle of paper there if you wanted to, but then you've got to be careful of the mechanism. You don't want to be covering anything and obstructing it from closing. Oh, look, that was totally accidental. That was not meant on purpose, but I quite like that. So maybe that'll be my front this time. So that is it. That is our final Halloween Treats Week box. So I hope you've enjoyed this little mini series, and I do hope you will be having a go at some of these ideas. And I can't wait to see what everyone makes. Now remember, it doesn't have to be Halloween. It could be Christmas, baby showers, birthdays, anything you want. So have a go and then share your versions with me in my Facebook group, Paper Crafting with Paul. And if you've enjoyed these, please give me a thumbs up. And in the comments below, tell me what you think and which you've enjoyed, which is your favourite ones, and which ones you're going to have a go at. So please, as said, please help out with your comments, your likes, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. So thank you for watching, and I hope you've had a good time watching all these different treat holders.